Hola a todos. I guess this is gonna be the first video of my YouTube channel, I guess. This is kind of weird considering the fact that my sister's been bothering me about starting a YouTube channel for quite some time now. Will I tell her that I started it? Probably not yet, but here we are anyways. Gosh, this is actually kind of embarrassing talking to myself in my room. But oh well. I guess we'll start off by just lining this piece. I guess this is going to be more of an introductory video to my channel, kind of like introducing who I am. But it's going to be a draw with me. If we have time, if I feel like it, there may be a story time in here. Who knows what's going to happen? But we're here anyways. So I already sketched this out actually, but this is my D&D character. I decided just to sketch her out because usually it takes me a really long time to sketch and figure out poses and stuff. I'm not that good of just like figuring out what I want and then just throwing it onto a piece of paper really quickly. It always takes me forever. Gosh, I'm not used to talking to a camera. I'm probably gonna fall really silent a lot, but here we are anyways. Guess I'm not really sitting in complete silence. I decided to put on some headphones just to have some sound going on in my own ears. And I'm playing some Chrysler music, Christmas music. So I guess I'll talk a little bit of who my character is. Oh, I don't like that line. So this is Una. Her full name is Lonnie Una, but it is hard to spell and hard to say, so she just tells everyone to call her Una. She is a furbolg, which is kind of like a goat person type of thing. And she is a paladin class, so she is a strong girl, strong independent woman that only needs her god. I'll probably be drawing a few of my D&D characters, or maybe even past D&D characters on this channel, just because I find it fun to like create their character design. I love trying them out. Probably the only person in my group that draws, so like I get so excited when I'm like, here's my character. I get to like actually show them what I envisioned her to be instead of being like, oh, I found this picture online, but imagine them with this. If her character design changes at all, I'll probably redraw her. I love drawing her. She's a tall girl. She has height. She's like 7 feet tall, and she is strong, in charge. I've actually never really fully lined a piece in pencil. This is something like YouTuber I watch does, so I thought I'd just try it out. This is not the first piece I've drawn of Una, so it doesn't really hurt me to do it. I just want to try it out. I've done it to some of my sketches on my notebook, because if you put watercolor on top of graphite, it kind of like seals it in, so it makes it so that it doesn't smudge. So like, I think it's gonna do great. Plus I've seen her do it tons of times. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna introduce myself and I have yet to do that. So, I'm Blurbs and Blobs. I'll probably not tell you guys my real name for a while because I have issues. But yeah, I have an Instagram, also Blurbs and Blobs, with like some underscores in there. Probably put it down below because I want more followers. But yeah, I am currently a student at the Arizona State University, and I'm an anthropology major. So anyone that doesn't know what anthropology is pretty much this. In essence, it's the study of humans. So there is evolutionary anthropology and cultural anthropology. And I am an evolutionary anthro major. So pretty much it has to do with studying how we went to being very primate and chimp-like to being more hominoid, a human. I find it very interesting. I probably won't do archaeological stuff when I get older, but I do want to do research of like more recent human remains. So kind of like forensic type of things, but not actually like working with. So I want to do research to help with forensics. So pretty much do more research in order to help identify bodies after the flesh is gone. It's gonna be. I want to do gross things. It's kind of like a thing that like a lot of people think I'm weird when I tell them that I want to study that, especially my coworkers. It's like a common like, oh, we're getting to know each other, so let's ask each other like, oh, what each other's majors are. I always like hit them with like, oh, I want to study dead people. They just look at me like I'm a freak. I don't blame them. I know it's a weird thing to want to study, but I don't know. I find it interesting. Humans are, I always say, I find humans endlessly interesting. I just don't want to talk to them when they're alive. Like, I think psychology is really interesting. I don't like true crime things where it's like the weirdest of the weirdos, you know? But I just don't want to deal with people alive. Or in person. Such an awkward person. Which you guys can probably tell just based off of the amount of nervous laughter I have. Isn't she beautiful? Oh. By the way, get ready for me to draw just a bunch of pretty girls, because that's all I can draw. I'll occasionally draw some animals, but it's not nearly as good as I can draw pretty girls. So, have a part-time job at the school. I work at a bookstore. At the university bookstore. Which is not fun. The people I work with are fine, and I love them. They're cool. I just hate the customers. They're just so rude and so mean all the time. And like, I get it, books are expensive, and like, but sometimes people have to just accept the fact that they're wrong, you know? I also hate it whenever the mom calls for the son. It's like always like, oh, my little Timothy can't do anything wrong. It's all you guys' fault. Fix it. And I have to like point out like all the things about our policy that makes her and her son just wrong. And the kid never even tells her the full story of like the actual truth, so she just doesn't want to accept that her little kid could do anything wrong. Also, your kid's now in university. Let them be an adult. Like, my mom didn't go with me, or I actually didn't even let my mom come with me to, what's it called? To like freshman orientation. Of course, my parents came to like move in, because, you know, I kind of had to have their help. But I don't know, I always feel like, let your kid go and buy their books on their own. Let your kid just start being independent. Like, I understand that, like, it's scary for the parent to, like, especially the moms, to, like, fully understand the fact that their kids are now adults and that they should have to make their own phone calls or do their own book shopping or deal with like issues at stores on their own. Oh no, I smudged it. Heck. I forgot a detail. Oh, I'll redo that right now. But I just always find it so funny because I don't want to cover up these shoulders though. Because she's supposed to have a cloak. But I don't want to put on. Oh, these shoulders came out so good though. Heck, I just will draw her cloak. No cloak for her anymore. Shoulders have to be cold. Where's my eraser? There she is. Yeah, these are my watercolor paints. It's primarily Sennelier and some Qor watercolors. I should probably tape this painting down, but I don't feel like it. So I'm just gonna not. I'm gonna erase these background, the details that were gonna be for the cape. Oh yeah, but as y'all can probably tell, I'm Latina. Mainly because of my introduction, I guess. My parents are from Mexico. I was born and raised and currently still live in the Phoenix metropolitan area. That's vague enough for me to still feel safe, right? I usually don't really think much about, like, my race, you know? But I have noticed that, as far as I could tell, there isn't many, like, Latinas in the art community. Heck, as far as I can tell, there isn't many Hispanics in the YouTube community unless they're from Mexico, you know? And they do all their stuff in Spanish. I should have done the skin first. Oh well. Don't know why I went dress first. Oh yeah, she's got a bit of scandalous dress going on. She has these like kind of wrappings around her hip, which is supposed to keep the bum area more in, so it doesn't just flap up. She probably also has like a loincloth underneath, so it don't matter that much. This is a fictional character. It don't matter if she's a little scandalous, you know? Let's see. Let's make a nice skin tone of too dark. I have no idea what color this is. It's probably a Winsor and Newton color. I have a few Winsor and Newton professional paints in here. They're primarily the brown ones. Let's see. That's a nice color. Really warm, but oh well. Really should not be using a brush this big, but oopsies. Oh, I never noticed the graduation on that. Turns a little bit more yellow. nice, actually. I like that. Oh, I should not be doing this. The screen is still wet. Did I do it already anyways? Yes. Oopsies. Just add a little bit of color to her horns. They're perfectly white. They're a little ivory-ish. I'm pretty sure that's all for my introduction. I'll probably tell you guys more about myself as this goes on. But that's good for now. So I guess it's time for my little story time. So, as stated previously, I'm a student. And as per preparing for the new semester, I was checking my finances page just to make sure everything was in check, just to make sure that I had everything I needed, taking enough credits and stuff like that to get all my financial aid for the upcoming semester. And what I see is that I suddenly owe the university almost $3,000. And I thought, that ain't right. I sure as heck should not owe them that much money. So I called them up. I was just like, hey, there's just this charge on my account for the fall semester. Why is that there? What is this, some sort of mistake? I paid everything already. This lady tells me, oh, that's on there because you dropped a class. You withdrew from a class. And I was just like, there was no sort of warning or anything telling me that I would have to pay a fine for dropping a class. That's not fair. And she's just like, oh, I'm really sorry, you didn't know, but there's nothing I can do for you. You'll just have to contact the collections department at this point because you owe the university $3,000. You can apply for a compassionate withdrawal or medical withdrawal type of thing if I have excessive stress or whatever, or if there was a death in family or something like that. And I was just like, I mean, I could try, I guess, if that's my only choice. And of course I call up my mom crying. I was just like, Mom, this is terrible. This happened. She just tells me I have to not accept that I have to walk my butt all the way to the financial aid department and tell them hey, I'm not paying this. You gotta remove this from my account. This isn't fair. Because nowhere on the website, nowhere on me withdrawing from the class did it say that if you withdraw from a class and not do the add drop thing at the beginning of the semester, then they fine you. There's no sort of thing that says that. So of course I'm like, this isn't fair. This is cheating students out of money. So yeah, I go and walk myself over there. I talked to one of the student workers. I think she was new and she was barely a trainee because there was another student worker right next to her. And then they look at my account. Of course I cry at them because I can't do anything else but cry when I'm sad and upset. And they just look at my account and they're like, so we're just gonna call the manager so he can explain the situation better. Them saying that, I literally thought that they were just gonna reiterate the same exact thing the lady had already told me over the phone. I was just like, no, you ain't doing this to me. We ain't doing this today. And the manager comes up to me and then just says that this is an issue that hundreds of students were dealing with, and that I don't owe them any money. That's just an error on their part. That for some reason the one of my loans had auto-canceled on itself. So that's why it says that I owe them money, but when I don't. And I was just like, oh, that would have been nice to like get an email for that. I didn't say that there because I was just glad enough not to have to pay $3,000. But yeah, like there's like no sort of email saying like, hey, this is an issue that we've been dealing with, or like a few hundred students have seen this error on their account. We recommend you to like check your account to like make sure that it's not affecting you. But if it is, not to worry, and that it's just gonna resolve itself, or they're working their hardest to resolve it. If they see any like late charges, to call them or something. But they didn't say any of that. There is nothing. So that's just like kind of BS. And not only that, but that lady told me that I owed them money. So like the lady I had talked to over the phone literally just gave me a made up story just to get me off of the phone. Because in them telling me that as long as I'm taking enough credits for all of my scholarships and such, I'm fine. Like, there is no issue. There is no such thing as a withdrawal fee. Maybe there's a possibility that if you aren't taking enough credits for the semester that your loans will be removed. But other than that, there's no such thing as a withdrawal fee. So she just lied to me. I wish I had a better mic, because, I forget her name, but oh my gosh, she has like a great like ASMR watercolor channel. It's like Summer something. Sometimes when I just gotta like chill out, I just listen to her paint. There's like great little noises, great little mixing noises. This is too much. This is rude. I can't get the same color again.
I don't love you.
That's good enough. Oh, I made her head too big. Oh well, she's cute anyways. She just has really thick hair. We'll just say that.
I would have loved you forever.
But yeah, that's her. This is Una. I might add some details in a little later, but that'll be posted on my Instagram. I guess I'll see y'all later. Hopefully I make another YouTube video. Adios.